What's going on, people? Welcome back to the video. John Sinclair TV back again, and it's the Real Talk Podcast show. And I've got Louise with us, and I've got Stuart as well. First timer. Evening to you guys.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Champion stuff, absolutely fantastic. And it's been a warm day today, people. It's been a very warm day, and I tell you what, I think it's going to get hotter apparently as well, guys.
I love it. I'm not complaining.
I hope not. I'll need to get the aircon in the apartment, I think. So yeah.
I know. I need aircon as well, man. I need aircon as well. So, guys, if you like the video, like what you see, please have the honor, hit the like button, also subscribe as well. If you like the super chat, that's open, and if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p as well. And we'll go through the comments as well. Before I do, just going to make like a house rules as well. Please remember to keep comments respectfully. No all caps duplicates. No discussing or promoting other people's channels unless given permission by me. Allow mods to mod while you enjoy the show. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go on to Leslie. Leslie, welcome to the chat, Leslie.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Thank you for JK. Hope you're great. And John, yes, thank you, Les. And everyone there as well. And spell your name wrong, Stu.
I get it all the time. Don't worry about it.
No, I normally spell Stuart STU, and I prefer that way as well. But there you go. And a big up to Mark Chalk as well, and even to you, my guy. And hopefully you're fine, and hopefully your wonderful sister Karen is as well. And we're going to do topics as well on the Real Talk podcast. So just see how it is. We're going to go through 4 or 5 sections as well. And anyone wonder where Gemma is? Unfortunately, she cannot make on show tonight, claiming that she is going to be late getting back. So, yeah, it's a shame. Gemma would have been great as well. But we move on. We're going to talk about the first topic as well. We're going to talk about the new kits being launched last Saturday, plus new sponsorship sellout as well. Stuart, I'll start with you because you are a new guest as well. Tell us what you think about the new kit and the way going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a welcome change. I think historically we've seen, well, recently anyway, we've seen the likes of Fun88, a kind of obscure Chinese betting company. We saw Wonga, which I don't think was a great sponsor for the club that we are. Sela, I had to Google them myself to find out, what they actually did. Apparently, they're an events management type company. So yeah, it's great. It seems as if I think the key for me, I don't tend to buy the strips myself, but the key for me is that it's not something that presents a bad image for the club. And yeah, the money coming in the door, I think that it was rumored it was around 25 million per year. So, over, say, I don't know how many years that's for, 4 years, that certainly brings in some top quality players, hopefully. So yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely right, because it's about time that you had a new sponsorship and also as well the shirts I got on there. Miss Salah, absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. And Stuart, I know before going to Louise, I forgot to ask you, what made you become a Newcastle United fan? How long have you been a Newcastle fan for? And what's been your greater moments?
Yeah, so I'm 32 years old. I've been a Newcastle fan all my life. The connection is that my granddad is from Newcastle. So I've always grown up with the black and white on my chest.
Yeah.
Had a season ticket for the last few years, so this season was probably a big highlight towards the back end of last season as well, when the results started coming in and we escaped relegation when Howe came in. So yeah, League Cup final was great. Didn't get a good result, but I just think the feeling amongst the fans, the atmosphere in the stadium, and of course, although we didn't win the match on the pitch against Man United, I think we won it in the stands with the support that we had, and yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Great day out.
Fantastic. Welcome aboard to my channel, Stuart. Has been absolutely fantastic from the London Mags as well. Big up to Louise, by the way. I hope you had a good day. What's your opinion on the new kit being launched on Saturday, plus the new sponsorship? I bet you're one happy lass.
I am, very much so, for all of the reasons that Stuart's just said. It was great to see what was happening in Saudi as well. We are aiming to have global support now, and I think the sort of things that they're talking about, the fan zone and things outside the stadium. I love all of the extra that we're getting. Love the styling of the kit. Look forward to having different manufacturers so that I can fit into a normal size, but we'll not talk about that. And the other thing, right, I need a new clause in my contract with you, John. Can you stop getting people who are young enough to be my kids on the show? Because so depressing. You have to stop that. No more of that. That's probably everything's been said, except a bit of talk about the stitching. Have you seen a bit of talk about the stitching? But I think that's a legacy that it looks like United isn't quite spelt right, but it's just the stitching, and be nice to get that corrected when we have a new manufacturer.
Fantastic. I tell you what, though, there's no clause in the contract on each other, mate. You're always permanent signing, Louise Thompson. You know what I mean?
No, negotiation. It's the transfer window I'm negotiating. And last thing to say, I am actually wearing the food bank top rather than any Newcastle top directly. And a big shout out to them for what they did at Sam Fender at the weekend. I thought they were awesome.
Fantastic. We're going to talk about Sammy Fender later on. Big up to Leslie, by the way. The partnership with the seller is developing the fan experience and prices. Do you know what it is, right? I mean, I can't wait for the fan zone to kick in as well. And do you know what it is, Stuart? If you can get the fan zone at Newcastle, which you will do, then let's be real, right? That'd be fantastic for podcasters. I'm going to be in the zone, and I will be interviewing a couple of people as well. But yeah, score. Go on.
Yeah, I think it's like the club's got a unique position in the city. Like, the location is so central. There's not another club in the Premiership that has such a central location, and to be able to pull in fans as they get off the trains. I know historically people have just went to a lot of the pubs around the stadium, but that could also help generate a lot more revenue for the club, which is only a good thing, and get everyone hyped up before the match. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that next season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, the fan zone, Louise, I mean, it's going to be epic. Absolutely epic. I know you're going to agree, Stu, but it's so epic. And I tell you what as well, we at Seller are going to do big things at Newcastle United. 25 million sponsorship as well. These people are absolutely serious. They want the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some people saying that we should make the fan zone certainly welcoming for families, because the pubs, people maybe don't want to go in the pubs, can't go in the pubs with kids, but the fan zone means that they can get there early. And, don't know if we need any hyping up more than we already are hyped up, but certainly somewhere to congregate.
Yeah, I think all it is, right? I mean, Newcastle are making big plans as well. And they want to make our club one of the biggest in the country, like, you know what I mean, making plans as well. And I tell you what it is, right? Mike Ashley, 15 years of him, right? Done absolutely sweet FA. These people been there 18 months, big plans as well. So long may it continue. Let's hope the sky's
long
and the limit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait for Madison to sign for us. What a team we're going to have in the new season. Oh, that's the case. I'll be doing the transfer show on Thursday as well. Keep your eyes peeled for that, with a new great guest as well. Keep your eyes peeled for that, Pete. Big up to Jonathan and Kate. How's it going? I saw you the other day when you were outside St. James's Park, and I was just passing by you. And it did say, hi, John. Was that you, Jonathan? He said, I was doing the film. I was doing the clip for the new kit. If it was, I do apologize, mate. And, next time, you should have stopped, and I would have chatted to you for a couple of minutes. You know what I mean? So we've got a clip in a few from you as well. So, Jonathan, Kate, hope you're great. I noticed the stitching is the same on the badge, on the home front 888 top. I mean, we're going to come on to that as well. And the first strip is amazing. When the second strip out, I cannot wait to see what the second strip is going to be like as well. It's a stitch that has been like that for years. Machine embroidery uses a continuous processors, unlike the change, Justin Leslie. I know people are kicking off, Stu, about the badge as well, the way they did it. It says UNWTED, looks like it, but I bought the shirt and I noticed the badges there as well. I just bought because of the new sponsorship, and it's off.
You know what's interesting though? It's I think we've got one of the oldest badges in the league. So if not the oldest badge in the league, you know, a lot of other clubs have simplified their badge. If you look at, you know, West Ham, Man City. So, you know, I don't know if it's potentially something to do with that. You know, shirts are obviously manufactured a lot cheaper than they used to be. So who knows, mate? I hope the badge doesn't change, but I've seen a few other clubs sort of go down that more simplistic design, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't mind the NUFC. You know, when you have the C sort of underneath, I don't mind that, but I really like the heritage of the badge we've got. Yeah, tradition as well, guys. Traditions as well. I love tradition, and if you know, Newcastle will do great things as well. The shirts is right. I love the shirt. The material's fantastic. Do check out the new kit release on my 4-minute clip what I've done on Saturday. And let's go on to Jonathan. When are you coming up to Newcastle next, John? I'll be hopefully for the pre-season friendly, mate. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I should be there. Who will be playing that day? Late July, early August. I will be there. And evening to Jules. I hope you're great. And I hope you're having a good day, Jay. Good evening to John. Big up to Alan. John, mate, you're going to have to start signing autographs at the ground. I tell you what, though, I'm a shy lad, but I think I'll do all right. Thank you. Wow. Not that shy. I'm not that shy. But, you know, all good. But look, Alan, if you see us at the stadium, mate, and come to us, I'll give you an autograph, mate. Or anyone that sees autograph as well. Do you know what I mean? But I would love to do that anytime. Thank you very much, 80s Gamer. Hope you're great, mate. Hope you're having a good day. And everyone, giving to Paul Gallant as well. And I hope you're absolutely fantastic. He's watching all the channels too. And everyone's bringing up Paul as well. The sponsorship, like I said, 25 million a season. I mean, it's about time we had a new sponsor. Like I said, these people, Stuart, are so serious. And I tell you what as well, I reckon this could be our sponsor for a long, long time. Hope so.
Yeah. No, I think it seems as if it's kind of mutually beneficial. Seller obviously don't have a huge amount of exposure to the UK market. You know, there was a rumor about them about a month ago, and I was on their website, and it looked really basic. And then by the time that they were confirmed as our sponsor, their website had all been updated. You know, there was much more content on there. So, yeah, you know, we're looking to grow, push on to bigger and better things, and it looks like they're trying to do the same thing. So it's hopefully a good match.
Yeah. One thing I've got to ask about, are we clear on the socks yet? Is it white socks or is it black? Because that could actually be, you know, that could be a decider for me. I'm not happy with white socks.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe black, I think. I could be wrong on it. So it could be black, but I'll definitely check it out. Or people in the chat will probably know about it as well. I mean, Alan's usually good at it as well. So he'll probably find that out for you as well. But we should see. So, yeah, if you're giving marks out of 10 for the new kits, how many marks out of 10 would you give it, Stu?
I would give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, Lou?
Just before, I'm just curious to know what would have made it a 9 or a 10. What did you score it down on?
I scored it down on.
Go on, Stu.
Oh, sorry. Probably the rumours about the embroidery, the stitching, I think, and also the sizing, I think, that you mentioned, Louise. Potentially, I don't know if Castor's like the long-term option, like the long-term plan for us. You know, I know that Silverstone had ideas about got the Adidas deal with Arsenal. So yeah, I'd love to go back down that route in the future.
Absolutely, totally agree. So in terms of the look of it, if not how it feels, but the look of it, I absolutely love it. I think it's great. Pending a decision on the black or the white socks.
Yeah.
And so I'm Mark, so I'm going to give it a 9.
You're not going to give Anthony Gordon a 10 out of 10 again. You did very ratings. She's very generous, yeah. There you go. Big up to Michael, by the way. He'll be right, mate. Sending me top back because of the fit yet again. Yeah, a lot of people's having same problems again with the fit of the shirts as well. I mean, I tried to get a medium. I was told to get a size up, yeah. and I got myself a size up. I got myself a large. So, yeah, good luck on that, Michael, and I hope you get the correct size as well. I have a suspicion it's white socks, but I'm not 110% sure. That's from JK. Mandy Queen's in shops at black socks, but saw blue and white socks with a black trim. He looked good as always. That's in Leslie. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't mention Fabian Shah, Leslie. Do you know what I mean? Even Newcastle at home for the preseason, I got no idea, Jonathan. You have to keep eyes peeled for that. Whoever it is, I'll be there anyway, 110%. So for me, I'm going to give this kit, this shirt a 9. I want to give it a 10. I'm giving it a 9 because could be because of the size again. So listen, I'm happy with the shirt. I'm happy with it. Happy days. So let's have a look at this one from Paul. Thank you, Paul. You do that, mate. What about black and white hoop socks? Blasts from the past, Alan. And that's
I could do that. I could definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go on to the next topic now. I mean, this is going to be a lot of people are mourning and crying some more. I mean, why no new signings, news as of yet? Should we as fans be patient or sign the players before pre-season? I'm going to start with Louise on that one.
So, okay, it opens tomorrow. It goes to September, right? We can't have it all done before coffee break in the morning. And I know that I've said it to you on the show before. How long will it be before people are complaining? We're not doing anything. We're rubbish. We're never going to get anybody. I'm hoping again to say to people, please be patient. Please trust them. They absolutely know what they're doing. I don't think we'll be rushing into anything much. But obviously, I have to look at names here. Dementia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
yeah, Dementia. Yeah.
Yeah, and the right one, Felix. I'm not his brother. So that there's rumor about him. You know, do we expect Tierney? I know you're going to do a transfer show later on, but I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of action yet, and I don't expect there to be. I'd rather they do it right.
Fair enough. It says to my disgust versus Leslie, no problem with pictures of Fabulous Fabian. Oh, I'm so sorry, Leslie. Go and ravel with at the club shop, and I'm sure they will listen to you, Mr. Stevenson. What do you think of news about regarding Shawby players and the Gallagher expansion? For me, I think it's absolutely wicked. I think it's fantastic if it's going to go ahead. And you know what it is, right? It makes it a bigger stadium as well. So 52,000, Stu, is not big enough for Newcastle United, in my opinion. It should be extended.
I would like, and I think I mentioned it Twitter or something this week, it would be really good if there was some way to make it accessible, whether it's because it's standing or whatever, make it more accessible to Geordies at home. There's so many who can't go to the match. You know, they're excluded already. I would love to see some allocated to people who are doing good work in the city or whatever, but we need to keep it accessible. I think we need to make it more accessible to grassroots than it is today. They are the heart and soul. We don't want to lose them.
100%. I mean, they're the future of football. We believe in youth, the grassroots, and you know, you can't forget them at all whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? Because we'd love to have a Geordie in the years to come. It's going to be a superstar. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want to see. Stu,
sorry, I was talking about the fans, making sure that the fans who are grassroots fans can get in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just to make sure that it's affordable in some way, and I can't see how it happens. We were talking about I think season ticket prices. A season ticket price for Man City works out at about $4.50 a match somehow. Maybe it's not City. Somebody works out $4.50 a match in the family end. You know, I remember back to when I used to first go, and it was £1.50 to get into the Gallagher end.
Wow.
I know. How do we bring, you know, not £1.50, but how do we bring it back so that the kids can get in? I think having the women there so that they get in for that, I think is important. Having more gigs so that they can get in if it's not to watch the first team, you know, the male first team, but we need to make it accessible.
Well said. Absolutely right, Louise. And I hope they get it sorted out really, really soon as well. We're going to post some comments as well before we get on to Stu's take as well. Please like and subscribe as well, please, if you're new to the channel. And super chats are open. And if you'd like to become a member, the link's on top of the chat. 99p as well. So there's not a lot of money. No more, no less. For me, we need a couple of signs quickly just for pre-season training. And I have to agree with you. That's my take. You've got to get the players in early, in my opinion. And I'd like to get arrested for stalking. Now, Leslie, now. You and probably to go by here soon. It's near impossible for me to come to the Toon games since capacity, and also since I live in Scotland too. One day I'll be living in Newcastle. JK, do you know what, mate? It's hard to get tickets anywhere. There's a big waiting list, and you just have to do with it as well. They got a boat up as well for Europe. That's some PG. Big up to Coffee as well. Where have you been, mate? He hasn't been on for quite a while. Welcome back, Coffee. I hope you're great, mate. And see if you've got any fun and games as well. And wow, John looks dashing the new kit. Bless him. And F-Side Coffee, £8 for the Champions League. Yeah, Gemma's chatting to Paul as well. And £8, no, 70 quid, 70. And there you go. Have exams. Good luck on your exams. So you passed it, mate. And Stuart, what's your take on one of the new signings? Are you panicking? Should your fans be patient? And see what goes from there.
No, I would say trust the process, keep the faith. You know, I think we've got an absolutely exceptional management team in the background now with Dan Ashworth coming across from Brighton. It's testament to the job that he's done. The fact that Brighton are in Europe for next season, which is, you know, astounding for a club that size. A lot of the guys that have come through, if you look at, you know, Enciso, Caicedo, Estupinian, like all these guys were a few years in the making. You know, they were out on loan, similar to Minty, who we've just signed the other day. It's early doors. You know, I'm looking around at other clubs in the league.
Yeah.
No one really has made signings yet. You know, I know there's been a pre-contract signed for Tielemans at Villa. He's not someone I would have wanted. Certainly on the wages that he was looking at. There's talk about, you know, I'm not going to be caught out trying to pronounce his name. I'll call him Felix. But yeah, no, Felix Nemekche. I think if you were to get a guy like that, couple of Germany caps, he came through the Man City Youth Academy. He's got joint citizenship in UK and Germany. He seems to be the profile of player. You know, he's only 22. The sort of profile of player that we'll be in for. So yeah, I'm expecting us to make a few big signings. You know, whether that's Maddison and Tierney, and then maybe 3 or 4 kind of relatively unknown players. You know, I always go back and ask people the question, like, how much did you know about Bruno before he joined? And the answer's, you know, not very much. So yeah, I think we'll see some activity in the next couple of weeks. But yes, it's a tough market out there. You know, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of other clubs that are offering big money too. So yeah, just need to be patient, and I'm sure we'll get it over the line. But one last thing I'll say is that I think we need to be conscious that the team that we had playing last season, they got us to where we are now. You know, so I don't think wholesale changes are the way to go about it, because a lot of these guys deserve to have a chance next season in the Champions League. So it's about getting, you know, solid backup to players that we miss when they're out. Like, you know, I think Longstaff and Bruno, when they were out, when they were missing, we really struggled. Defensively, I think we'll definitely need a few reinforcements, and, you know, maybe a striker as well. But you know, I don't necessarily think we'd sign a striker that was a bigger and better name than Wilson and Isak. So it might be someone more up and coming.
I completely agree with that. I also think we're going to need more rotation, though, because we're going to be playing so many more. You saw how knackered they were at the end of that season. We're going to be playing more games, so I think we will need more. And I don't think they will all necessarily play as regularly as they did, but I think absolutely they should. The ones that got us to where we are, like Dan Burn, absolutely deserve their chance at it. We need to keep them.
Yeah. There's Felix Emecha, that's his name. Plays for Wolfsburg. He's got a market value of 50 million quid. He's made 30 appearances as well. And if I can just get this up a second, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, he made 30 appearances, and I think he scored 3 goals this season for the Bundesliga outfit as well. So he looks a prospect. He's a young lad, 22, I believe he is, and he's got a contract expires in the next 2 seasons' time, up until 2025. So he's a prospect, he's a talent, and I think this guy will be a good asset for Newcastle if Volkswagen decides to move him on. Let's go for some more comments as well. It would be great if the club could get a large screen on for fans who can't get tickets. I think that's a great shout. That's an absolute great shout there. I'll be buying a new top soon, ready for my holidays next month. Hopefully the away top is out before I go away. That is from Paul. Big up to you, Paul, by the way. And let's chat before roll on a new season. That's from Paul. Don't forget to click the likes and share to your socials, people. Thank you very much indeed. And Leslie, yeah, he's a little matcha as well. We got to Tenda as well. Should be expected to play in Manson and hopefully Tierney before pre-season. I've got to talk about Tierney as well because according to reports, I mean, if he does come to Newcastle, then he'll be on the bench. So I kind of see the point of being on the bench at Arsenal to the bench at Newcastle. We'll talk about it later. We need some Scott Deff in the squad as well to keep everyone on their toes and for backups for the long, exciting league ahead. It's going to be a long, long season.
Yeah.
And go on.
Sorry, I was just going to have a bit of a worry. This is like my therapy. I come on here and share my worries. What about all of our players that we've got currently on international duty? Are they going to come back tired? Are they going to come back injured? Or is it going to disrupt our pre-season? We talked about getting a couple of players in so that they can settle in. And all of our players are on international duty. I see Miggy's had his call up. Joe Linton got a great goal in training for Brazil yesterday or today. So there's a lot of them away. You've all heard me banging on about how disruptive I thought the World Cup was. Is that going to be a problem? Don't know. Interested in what other people think.
Yeah, I think it's a great shout. I mean, that means Joe Linton will be playing football for the whole year. I think, me personally, when he comes back to Newcastle, I think he'll probably get a bit of a break. And, probably go to the pre-season, but he get a bit of a break because he deserves a break. He's had a fantastic season, by the way. And he's got a cracking goal. I've just seen it. But
cracking.
That's a beautiful goal. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, Alex Telles, by the way, plays for Man United. He's on loan at Sevilla as well. So for me, my definition of Scott Deff is players who are better than what we have. If you can get someone better than Byrne, Shah, Willock, and Miron, that would be a great signing as well. And let's go on to Mark as well. Is what team we need. I think you need a proper left back, especially like Dan Burn. We need a natural left back that can actually play left back. That's a great shout, Mark. But my only concern is, right, if Dan Burn continues to play well at left back, then Kieran Tierney will have to find himself on the bench. I do not want that for Kieran, but he's a fantastic left back. He's quality. And Tierney smiles ahead of Target and Burn. Even Arsenal fans will be disappointed if they sell him, or at least the realist Arsenal fans. I saw Lee Gunner will not be a happy buddy at all whatsoever. And I hope we play face to side to Norwich. I don't know if that news come out. I'll do a transfer update on that on the recorder later on. Dan Burn has been great, but I agree we need a fast attacking defender, left back as well, JK as well. My opinion on it as well, I think we need to get players in before pre-season, so it gives them a pre-season under Eddie. And hopefully that we don't really go to pre-season the same place as last season. But if you get a couple of players come through the door, then that'd be fantastic. Other than that, we just have to be patient. As for Jules, in that Jules always brings an element of risk and worry. I agree with Lou. So let's spread the positive vibes that it will be fine. Great shout, Jules. Great shout. And let's go on to the next topic as well. This is an interesting one. Do you think can we play or will peer the wage demands of our most wanted players? Now, Dominic Sloboslai, I don't know much he's on in the Bundesliga. He must have won about 30k a week. Yeah. But his agent said that he wants to 190k a week. Stuart, do you think Newcastle should be fleeced by agents? Do you think that we don't have to spend over the odds?
You know, I think it's the nature of the beast in 2023 that agents, they've had an increasing influence over the last, 10 to 15 years in the league. I would say that £190,000 per week is a bit rich for an unproven Premiership player. I understand he's had a great season in the Bundesliga. But, you know, I think that's what guys like Harry Maguire are on. Not saying that he's the sort of player that we should aspire to have. But, yeah, I think 190 grand a week is expensive, but it depends how much you're paying for them. You know, with financial fair play, I think there's been a lot of journalists surmising what we have to spend in the window, but they're forgetting that if we sign a player for £50 million and we give them a 5-year contract, that's 10 million a year towards financial fair play. So that's, you know, less than half of what we're getting from Sella, for example. So I think there's more money there to spend than what people are guessing at the moment. And yeah, to my point earlier, I think we should get a couple of, you know, flagship signings, you know, whether that's Maddison, maybe Tierney, although his injury record worries me a bit. And then, you know, look at guys like Nemeche, 4 or 5 guys like that, perhaps, that people have heard of, but, you know, they're not perhaps wholesale. They're not like, you know, big names in England sort of thing.
Yeah, you know what it is, right? I mean, they probably think we're the richest club in the world, yeah. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean to say we're going to spend the money. We only spend money on the wage, which we think we're right. Look at Bruno Gamache, right? Comes in,
yeah,
straight away. Right about how much is on the week? Right about 80K a week. 160.
I thought it was more. Yeah.
Or 81st is on less than that. 81st no release course, nothing of that. But at the end of the day, one thing I'm going to say, right? I mean, he come to the club to play for Newcastle United, not for the wage. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, Alan, I missed your comment, but you should sack his agent. Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, going to have another Hugo Ekiteke moment again. I don't want that circus happening to my club ever again. And the salary cap is potentially coming in from Paul. What's your take on that one, then, Louise?
I think it's a good idea. What I was just about to talk about was the discontent. If new players come in on much higher wages than the players we've got, is that going to cause discontent? You know, the fact that we are a team, that solidarity has been so important, I think, in the last season, and it's so amazing to see, and it kind of spreads out across the city, I think. So I definitely wouldn't want there to be any reason for disharmony in the group, and so I think that is a big consideration. I think you said it before, John, that we don't really have stars. Obviously, I think Bruno is a little bit of a star.
Only him.
but not really in his attitude. You know, he still loves the rest of the team and he bigs up the rest of the team. He doesn't act like a prima donna, I guess is what I'm saying. And we just don't have room for that. So I wouldn't want to see that, but I don't think they'll be fooled. I don't think they'll do anything that would, even if they can afford it, I don't necessarily think they would do it for those sorts of reasons.
The money doesn't guarantee success either. You know, if you look at guys like Jadon Sancho, I think Jadon Sancho's on something like 250 grand a week, and he's not even kicked a ball for Man United. So, you know, going out and spending the money on these supposed big names, it doesn't guarantee success.
It's got to be smarter than that, and that's what we see. You know, you were talking about what Dan's done at Brighton. He's now doing, you know, here as well. It's absolutely awesome, and then there's talent to that, and it's not just about splashing the cash. Yeah,
totally agree.
Do you think in the future, like closer to the season, you really want that player sort of thing? Do you think you should pay like, say, a player's worth, excuse me, say Szoboszlai is worth 60 mil with we offer 60 mil and he wants something like 70 mil? Do you think you should pay over the odds and get to secure the player? Because it's going to come to a point in future years, and may have to. We will have to pay over a couple million over the odds, and I have no problems with that at all whatsoever.
Yeah, there's going to be a Newcastle tax. We've seen it on clubs like Man United in recent seasons. You know, some of these, you know, you look at Harry Maguire, Anthony, Sancho, like these guys are not these guys are not top quality world class players, I don't think, and they've paid totally over the odds for it. But yeah, perhaps, you know, I think it does get to a point. It's squeaky bum time. You're a few days before the window shuts in September. if you haven't done your business early, then that price is getting higher and higher because they know that the demand's increasing for the players' services. But again, I trust Dan Ashworth. I think there's a plan in place. You've got guys like Darren Eales, Silverstone, him. They know what they're doing. They've all worked for big clubs before, and we're not being run in the same way as we were with Lee Charnley doing all three of these jobs. It was absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, got to keep the faith.
Yeah, and doing them in a totally different way with totally different brains and mindset applied to them. I love to see it. So to answer your question from my perspective, John, I don't mind us spending big money on a player, but I wouldn't want it because they were demanding it, or I definitely wouldn't want it because we hadn't done things in the right way and therefore we were forced into it. But I don't think that'll happen. I think Alan raised a point there where he said he thinks that we're going to see names that we still haven't heard of yet popping up, and I just love that. I just, they're out there looking and scouting and being really smart about it. I love it, and I can't wait to see what happens.
There's one player I'd love to get from Brazil's Victor Roque. Leslie's heard of him as well because I mentioned it quite a few times. He plays for Bruno's former club, Electric Paranaense in the Brazilian league. I think this guy's going to be absolute superstar, this guy. And but I think he's going off to Barcelona when he hits 18 years of age. But you're right. End of the day, we're going to get players we've never heard of before, and like we did at Isak as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Maxi with 5 more the season, which I hope he keeps injury-free, and with the players we get in, we will see the full potential of Maxi and other around him, ASM. But according to ASM, he wants to stay and fight for his place, yeah? And that's really good of him to say that if it's true. But, I mean, and people say he's going to do better next season, we should see. And other revenues still the top clubs will benefit more, as St. Paul. Then they can give us a Newcastle tax, but only if Sunderland and Bruno Fernandes gets a winger's tax for always whining. That is a fair shout. Beautiful shout there. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. If they're paying over the odds for certain players, then I expect them to perform and bring success to Newcastle. I think Man United paid way over the odds for Casemiro. Way over the odds. I'm telling you. But I tell you something, they got away with it big time because he's one of the best midfielders in the world, let alone the country as well. So, yeah, so all together then, are we going to be patient? Yes or no?
Please be patient. And also just to that point about talent, for me, talent needs to be matched with temperament. No prima donnas, listening to what Eddie says, being able to be coached, all of that, being able to be committing to the fitness levels, all of that sort of stuff is really, really important to me in who we sign, the right players. And I have total faith that we'll get them.
Absolutely. We don't need Neymar. We don't need a circus at Newcastle United. We've got, clubs like PSG has had them over the years. Too many circus in for that team. I mean, they're the functional club, and that's why they're never, ever going to win the Champions League. If that's right, you know what I mean? You're going to get Nagelsmann as well to take over that club as well. Good luck, Julian. You are going to need it, mate. Let's go on to the next topic as well. This is going to be an interesting one as well. Which players will Eddie will let go in the summer? Stuart, I mean, the name's going to be coming out in the next couple of days, and I think it's about 6 or 8 of them is going to be on their way.
I agree. I think we'll probably see, if I'm going through the team, I think we'll see Darlow and Gillespie leave. I think Dunnett will be retained because he provides the homegrown status. Perhaps even Gillespie will be retained because of that as well. They're local lads. They know the club inside out. They've got really strong ties with the community. I think they run a football school in the area, and they're just good guys to generally have around. I think Manquillo, his time's probably up, and we could perhaps get a decent fee for him as well. Get him off the wage book. I know that we've got Harrison Ashby coming through now, who's probably, you would think he's probably as good as Manquillo. The midfield feels a bit sparse looking at it. You know, I think there was times towards the end of the season where we were a bit exposed. We saw Elliot Anderson getting starts, which was fantastic. Miley coming on against Chelsea last game of the season. Hopefully these guys can push on. But I don't think we'll see many players leave from midfield, perhaps besides maybe Matt Ritchie, who apparently wants to go back down south to be with his family, and Ryan Fraser, who's by all accounts had a big fallout with Eddie Howe. So, yeah, you never know. I've seen situations recently where this whole PL2, so you've got like your reserves or your under 18s or under 21s, they're allowed to field up to 3 over 21 players. Mm-hmm. And some clubs have been quite smart with that. So they've been using more experienced names and playing them in the PL2 just to get, you know, a bit more experience around the younger guys. But yeah, I think it's going to be more of a buying window than a selling window, to be honest. I hope we don't lose Maxey. I hope we don't lose any of these guys that have been core to our success last season.
About Lascelles, think we'll lose him. Think he'll go?
Lascelles is one I didn't think of. Yeah, I think he might go off the Luton again. Though he seems like a great guy to have around camp. He was he did well when he was asked to play. He came on and he performed. I think we owe him a lot for the last, you know, what was it? It must be like 6-7 years of service now. But yeah, he'll go, I would say, but we really need to bring in someone better to replace him, and that's going to cost quite a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's as well. We're going to let Lascelles go to Luton. I've done a clip yesterday of him, and I think he needs to be playing first team football away from Newcastle. I think if Luton came in for him, or if my personal feeling is, I think he ended up going to Forest. If they came calling for him, I think he's going to wait for the Forest job. That's where he made his name. But at the end of the day, right, I mean, he needs to be playing football. He needs to be aware, because he can't be having another season playing very little football as well. Do you know what I mean? I like Lascelles. I think he's got a heart of gold. But at the end of the day, he's no better than we've got now. We need another centre-back. I think for me, go out and get Kimi Ai. Go and just consult Man United and get this guy to Newcastle United. This guy is a brilliant defender. Can you imagine him and Botman at the back? I'll tell you something. That is a title-winning defence.
Without a huge wage bill.
Well, if you want to win the title, then you have to have a solid back four. We have got a solid back four, but we have got to improve on our team. You've got to improve on our team every single season. You've got to keep going. Do you know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Napoli brought in 8 new players in the summer, including and Domele as well from Tottenham, who I think is useless at Tottenham but good at Napoli. I mean, let's be real. I mean, they won the title, so you got to improve. But yeah, we'll see what happens on that one as well. Goes in the comments as well. Come back to that one. I think FFP should be changed to let owners spend all money and not just base it on revenue, as a team like Luton could have the owners but can't spend as the revenue won't let them. I think that's a very interesting point there, Louise.
I kind of like the playing field being levelled, because then it's about the skill. It's about smart buy-in and skill. And, you know, I do think that there can be too much money in the game as well. So I am less opposed to that than Paul.
Cool. A little bit of health and mental a little bit of health and mental well-being advice. Don't listen to or believe every tweet or clickbait you see and hear. It will be relentless. Just have faith in the club and have it all in hand. Jules, that's a very good shout. You know what it is, right? Every time we link for a player, Stu, our name, right, it's been linked every single time. The worst one of it is Football London, right? They've got puppet journalists, right? Because they've got young journalists who are trying to be big, and they're never going to be big. I think they're just puppet journalists, right? And I tell you what, they know sweet FA.
Yeah, I will not celebrate or be upset until we've got the signing. Until I hear the signing has been made, I'm not really taking any notice of anything. Sorry, Stuart, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I take it with a pinch of salt. If I was to go, like, I used to be obsessed. I remember when I was a kid, I would be on the BBC gossip column. I'd be, scouring through all the newspapers, trying to read all the gossip. And if all of these things happened, we would have we'd have signed, half the players in the league. I think it's these guys need to sell newspapers. They, like with guys like Ashworth in charge, football's changed, right? They're running a tight ship. They'll be doing their business in the background. There's no way that they'll be letting Luke Edwards in from the Telegraph on someone who's like they're all like on the phone to Luke saying, "Oh, by the way, like we're looking at this guy Kim from Napoli. We're going to put in an offer for this guy at Wolfsburg." It's all guesswork. I think agents also they go around touting their players to the media to almost create a bit of excitement around them, in the hope that maybe another team comes in for them. But yeah, I think 99% of it is just total nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because some of the reports I've seen over the few years, even few weeks, is, I think just like, who's writing this shite? Who's writing it? There's another one called Tutti Mercato, right? It's Italian. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 times a year, reporting absolute BS every single time. I can remember years ago, right? It was after Edison Cavani, right? Mirko, it's a Tutti Mercato, it's an Italian agency, right? They talk a lot of BS every single day, right? And I tried to get an Italian guy on my channel, and he just refused to come on. So he is talking BS and don't believe what you read in the news, and that's as simple as that. So if you got something to say, do it, right? Be honest with it, and just don't listen to a false path. Simple as that. The media and people forget to confidential general data protection regulation, legal binding, legalization, and how information is shared and kept. That's a fair shout there, John. Thank you very much, man. So my point above means knows one will share information on what we have to spend. And that's another thing. 75 million. Apparently, Louise, Eddie has to spend 75 million. Nobody knows. That is the thing. They ain't going to tell us. They're not going to tell competitors and say, we got 75 million to spend, right? How much have you got? They ain't going to tell you this, do you know what I mean? Again, no one knows.
I suspect it could be more, but yeah, I don't know, because I haven't got a hotline into Dan, and nobody else does either. So we just have to wait and see what happens. It is exciting. There's a bit of me sort of thinking, no, it's tomorrow, starts, but I still don't think anything much is going to happen. And we need to keep people calm and not people, because we're used to disappointment. It's what's happened historically, and people are quick to worry that they're going to be let down again. We're not going to be let down. Just keep the faith.
Yeah, that's all we can do. 75 mil. We've already now have around 68 mil since we spent a chunk of it on Minty. Yes, that ain't enough. That is definitely not enough. What I think we need to do, right, if that's all you got, then we're going to have to spend in the championship players like James Maddison, Harvey Barnes. For me, everyone's talking about James Maddison. He could be on his way to us, yeah? Some people think he's going to be on his way to London. And Harvey Barnes, that's another player I'd take a punt on. He's got a market value, 32 million quid, 35 million sales to deal. Would you be happy taking Harvey Barnes, Stu, to Newcastle? Do you think he'll improve?
I'm not a big fan of signing players from relegated teams. I think Maddison's probably an exception to the rule. He's got something like 70 goal contributions, goals and assists over the last 3 seasons. Yeah. He's got experience in Europe with Leicester. He won the FA Cup with them. He's proven quality in the league. He's in the England setup. He's in the most recent squad. I think he's something a bit special. Last season was probably his worst in the last 3. He was great before the World Cup, and then towards the kind of latter part, he wasn't great. But again, I think that's more to do with the fact that it's Smith, Shakespeare, and Terry running the ship at Leicester. So yeah, some of these Leicester players, Barnes, it's hard to tell how they'll do when they leave that club, because I think they were so badly managed when Rodgers left. I'd probably prefer a guy like Lavia. I think Lavia looked good at Southampton.
I like this guy.
Yeah. I was at the semi-final for the League Cup, and he was standout. He was really like the best player on their team by a mile. But yeah, I think we need to be cautious, especially when prices like 35 million for Harvey Barnes and 60 million for James Maddison. We need to stick to our guns and be offering what these guys are actually worth.
And for me, Maddison, we talked about it other times on the show. I wouldn't, because of that dip. I wouldn't, because of that dip. And is it heading in the wrong direction, or is it, like you say, just because of coaching? So in the event that Eddie and the team say, yeah, we'll have him, then I'll get right behind it and totally support it. But my own view, I feel a bit uncomfortable about it. I am happy for them to prove me wrong, of course.
Well, I mean, it's going to be like a bit of war, like sort of thing. No, I mean, they want something like 60 mil. I mean, Declan Rice goes to ask for 100 million, over 100 mil, then they'll be looking at that as well, 60 mil. But I tell you what, Leicester needs to be really careful here at the minute, because he's only got one more year left on his contract, and they're in the Championship, and they haven't got the bargaining tool at all whatsoever. They need to be careful. It's as simple as that. I mean, for me, I'll go for a younger player, Carvajal as well, from Southampton. I think this guy, I mean, he's got Argentinian fire. I think he'd be a good player. Do you know what I mean? For Newcastle, yeah. 4 goals in 12 games. It only cost 15 million quid. I think this guy's going to be a really good player. He's one of the better. He's a good player in a poor side. But Lever, I take Lever all day long. I guess this guy's going to be really, really good. The owners to spend as 100 million a year. That's from Paul. JK said, I think the money we have reached from Champions League, plus what we have generated since the takeover and the players we sell, I think 100 mil at least spent for the summer as well. And Genie was sold first from as perfect example of buying for relegated teams. Also, Clay Bellamy as well, cost 6 mil. He was a success from Coventry City, where they got relegated. So, listen, at the end of the day, guys, I think you can get some good players just got relegated, and they will definitely improve under Eddie Howe. And popped in to say hi, Jez. I hope you're good. I hope you're working hard. And then Leslie's agreeing with Paul. All can say they pay whatever for the right player at the right place. The counters will sort FFP ASAP. And let's go on to next one as well. Barnes isn't as improvement on the wingers we have. Would I take him? Sure, but I wouldn't be celebrating signing him. Louise, would you, Louise, we celebrate getting Harvey Barnes? You celebrate?
I'd be content. I don't know if I'd celebrate. Not going to pull the t-shirt over my head and run around, but I'd be content. I'd find it acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely, but not your first choice.
No,
not for you. And yeah, fair enough. And let's go on to the next topic as well. And this is going to be fun, right? It's going to be a fun one as well. And this one is going to be Louise's favourite pop singer at the minute. And she's got all the posters in her room. Don't do that, Louise. Shoot, this is true. Sam Fender at his concert at St. James's on Friday. Music and football overlapping. And how do you feel about that? I'll start with you, Louise, because you mentioned it. It's your topic. Take it away.
So there was a lot of criticism about the fact that people went to a concert wearing the colours and that the wall flags was there, and people who weren't Geordies typically were saying, what's going on? It sounded just so bitter. He's a Geordie lad, having Brian Johnson from AC/DC on there with him, but also with that he also had his teacher who had taught him everything, and who was a complete unknown. And I just think all of it was awesome. I think the city was bouncing. I think it was fantastic to see. And I think anybody who is objecting to that really it's just a case of sour grapes. Why should they care? I thought it brought money to the food bank. It was a celebration of the city. I absolutely loved it, is my view. Even though I wasn't massively fan, although I've talked about loving to hear Local Hero. I love that sax. I'm not a massive Sam Fender fan, but his voice was amazing. Listening to some of the extracts I heard on video, his voice sounded amazing in the stadium. It was lovely. I couldn't take my eyes off it all weekend. Loved it.
he's a great singer. I think he's a great singer as well, like sort of thing. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be absolutely huge. He's going to crack America in the future years. Stu, are you a big fan of Sam Fender?
Huge fan. I only really got into him when I knew he was a Newcastle fan, and I think it was when the takeover happened. He was on BBC News one morning, and I was like, "This guy's brilliant. I need to give him a listen." And my nieces as well, they're really, really into him. So yeah, he's kind of grown on me over the last year or so. But yeah, I think it's amazing for the club, for the city. I love the affiliation with Newcastle United. But I think more importantly for me, I saw like there was a billboard outside the stadium for like Mind charity about, you know, people that weren't able to make it to the gig to like check in on your mates and stuff, which is really important in this day and age. There was a huge amount of money raised for local food banks, which is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I'm actually going to go and see him at Reading Festival in August. So yeah, can't wait for that. Might have to get the new Sella top to wear so that I stand out in the crowd.
Wow.
Or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
The one is like Sam Fender. I thought he's young. I thought he's a 22-year-old, but he's not. He's 29.
Doesn't look it.
29 years. I can't believe that, man. I thought it was
He's still young, is it not?
Yeah. Back to that. Back to where we started. Yes, that is young.
Wow. 29. Go on.
I was going to say he missed a gig the day after we got into the Champions League. He missed a gig, and you know, just going back to that. Yeah, absolutely, Jules. Just looking back at that. When he was on, you know, when we had the takeover, and he was still drunk on the sofa the next morning being interviewed, and I worry a little bit, you know, that's a bit. Is he too rock and roll? Is he going to go off the rails? But just the fact that he missed the gig because he had a bad throat or something, right after the day after we got into Champions League, it's like, okay, Sam, we believe you.
Wow. The thing is, like, I mean, like, you know, I'm listening to much Sam Fender's music, like, sort of thing now. I have to listen to a couple, like, and I tell you what, this guy is a raw talent, an absolute raw talent. And I tell you what, he's just going to get better and better and better. I said before, he'll crack America, no problems at all whatsoever. And yes, 29 still young. Of course it is. I wish I was 29 today, let's be honest. And his bro is meant to be the better singer. I don't know much about his brother, Paul, to be fair, but wherever he is, boosh. And let's have a look at this one. John JK, just as well, John, didn't say Shah was old. Otherwise, he would have had 2 eyeglasses after me. And Leslie is one of them. Wow.
Always.
And talking about Fabian Shah, right? I mean, he's apparently he's going to be offering a new contract as well. I mean, I'm sure let's be happy with that. And there's just been rumours a lot. I think it's about a month ago he's going to be offered a new deal. I mean, he's got 1 year left on his contract, and are they going to give him a new one, or we're going to need a defender eventually to replace him? I'm not going to lie, but you know, a younger defender like a Kabiai as well, and just break the bank for this guy. But I hope he stays. What do you think, Stu? I love Fabian Shah. I think he's been brilliant this season. He really has. I think this is the best football he has played for a long, long time in a black and white shirt.
Yeah. You know, I think since Howe came in, he's a totally changed guy. He was second fiddle to Lascelles under Bruce, and I think he's a great guy to have around the club. I think I saw something that this year he completed a sports science degree. You know, he's obviously quite an intelligent guy. Yeah. Who knows? He might be one of these people that stays around, does a coaching gig, maybe takes a bit more of a backseat role if we sign someone new. But yeah, I love him. I think new contract all the way. I don't know if he's in the Switzerland squad at the moment. I think he might be.
I think he is.
Yeah.
He's still got it. You know, you saw his performances last season. And I think I would actually say that he probably was better than Botman in some respects.
I agree. I think he has more dimensions to his play than Botman, which might change as Botman matures.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people I've been told I think Botman's a better player out of the two, in my opinion. But I have heard a lot of people saying that Fabian Spencer and Sven out of the two. But it'd be very interesting, very, very, very interesting. But Sam Fender, brilliant, BJ, brilliant, Geordie boys. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go on to Tender. Big up to you, my guy. The fact that Shah was behind themselves in pecking order during the boost is Bruce. Just how bad Bruce was. Oh, that's said by Steve Boost better. Do you know what it is? Oh, I'd take Fiona Boost rather than Steve Boost. Let's be honest about it. Do you know what I mean? But I think Fiona would have more style. It's like me what I said yesterday on Steve NUFC Matters. I said to him, I'd rather take Harry Styles than Harry Maguire. God almighty, do not get us Harry Maguire. Please don't.
Agreed.
We don't want any United cast-offs anyway. I'm not going to lie. But what are they trying to do? Regress us? Definitely no way.
Yeah. And you know, my view is I don't want any Harrys. Don't want any of them.
No.
No Kanes. No Harrys.
Fabian Shahzad fans, Beckenbauer. Wouldn't go as far as that. He's good, but I wouldn't go as far as that. But it's good to have an opinion, Mr. Little. I agree with you there, mate. His passing's underrated. I like his passing, by the way. And obviously, Alan's in Leslie's good books as well. But at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. And yeah, like I said, I mean, we've got the fixtures coming out in a couple of days' time. And I believe it's the 15th. I'm hoping it'll be a home game. I hope we don't play at home on the 18th because I'll be away to watch Stormzy.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And
see if you can get them back to the northeast.
Yes, I take Stormzy with. I see Stormzy and take him back up the northeast. No problems at all whatsoever. That guy.
That's your mission.
That's my mission. He's a proper singer, him proper rapper as well. And I tell you what, I think this guy is amazing. 18th of August, and check it out as well. I'll be there as well. Will I be doing contents there? You never know. You just never ever know. And I might even do like a Newcastle update from London as well. You just don't know. Let's have there's Shah's defense splitting past the Joe. And we all know the rest. Yes, that was some pass. Wow. And Harry Fusong for Lou. Where's the champions as August 31st, Paul? And yeah, I can't wait for that as well. And I hope it's Man U at home first game. Would you take it, guys? Man U at home first game? We're not scared of them.
You know what I prefer? Said it before. The other one.
Man City.
Man City. I'd rather win them. I'd rather beat them in the beginning and stake our claim.
And set the tone as well. And what about you, Stu? Who would you take the first game?
Last season when we got not Forest at home, I was at that game. It seemed like a kind of easy match. I thought they would go down when I saw them. So I think this season maybe a bit more of a challenge, so that we don't kind of get off on the wrong foot and thinking that all the teams are going to be like that. You know, I don't want a Luton at home. I think, I'd be happy with. I want a home game, but I would be happy with, you know, Man City, Arsenal, Man United, any of them.
Yeah, that's a fair shout for me. I'll tell you mine in a minute. I hope we get the home game in first game, Boxing Day, and the final day. And I'll be happy with that as well. I'll take the home game straight away. But if it's the 19th or the 20th, I don't think I'll be able to go because I'll be coming back from London that day and I just don't think I'm going to make it as well, unfortunately. But the good news is, guys, if you're watching, I should be going off to Rangers. Even though I'm a Celtic fan, off to Rangers, Newcastle game. I'm going to get me tickets and I should be doing me vlogs as well. So keep your eyes peeled for me and I should do my very, very best.
I think you'd be lucky because people are really struggling to get tickets. I think they've all gone unless you've got contacts.
Yeah, you know what it is, right? I was told it's only 2 points. Last week when I bought it, it was only 2 points. I had 7, so I bought it, 26 quid.
You've got it. And oh, brilliant!
I've got it, so I'll be there. I should be up there as well. So cheering the lads on, and I think it's going to be a right party as well. And I think I'll be vlogging as well. Watch out for me. and I should be doing this well. Do lots of things, interviews, and there you go. Hope you get home getting the first. I read that Maguire won the Incompetence Award as Bruno Fernandes won the Res Mona Award first place. JK, I love you. I love it. I love it. I love it. And don't listen. Listen, no chance at all. No chance. It ain't gonna happen, Alan. So don't panic. Yeah, I'm at the Newcastle end. I bought a ticket, and I should prove it to you when I'm get the ticket as well. So yeah, is there news going to Rangers, guys? You going to Rangers at Scotland? You're not?
No, I'm on holiday a few days later, so won't be making it. Save myself for the season kicking off.
Fantastic, fantastic. And Jules said, great show. Stu's, great to have you on. Luke, fantastic to have you back. And great job. Thank you very much, Jules. I really appreciate that. Exactly what Jules said. Thank you, Leslie, as well. And on that bombshell, we are going to wrap up the show. And, but it's been fantastic. And it's been a fantastic debate. And chatters, thank you as always. Thank you, Jules. And Stu, it's your first time. Did you enjoy coming on the show, mate? Did you enjoy coming on?
Loved it. Yeah. No, it was great to talk all things Newcastle, and hopefully you'll have me back sometime.
Definitely. You're going to make a regular thing. Do you know what I mean? So we definitely have a word and backstage in a bit as well. So don't go away. And where can we find you, Stuart, on your socials? So in case people want to find you.
I need to probably get better at Twitter. I don't really use social media too much, but yeah, if you look at, I think the handle they call it is Islington Mag. So
yes,
yeah, give me a follow, and maybe if I get more followers, then I'll start posting more content.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Stuart. And Louise, thank you so much for your great work and input as well. And remember, I said to you earlier on, you're going nowhere. Okay.
Thank you.
And where can we find you, young'un?
Louise 3 Thompson is my handle. Just on Twitter. Just on Twitter.
Not on Facebook, not on here. It's just just on Twitter as well. Do follow Louise, and she'll follow you back. I'm pretty sure. And please show us some love as well. And guys, you like my video, like what you see, please hit the like, subscribe button as well. Super chat still open. And also, if you'd like to become a member, it's 99p. And follow us on the links as well as in the description too. And I should be back again on Thursday for the transfer update show. And I will have the Irish Toon guys going to come on for the first time. And I'm on another channel tomorrow. And keep your eyes for that one. And until then, guys, watch what you're doing and have a fantastic
Away the lads.
And as always, away the lads.
Away the lads.